morning. It's a little frosty today. Cold. Well, we're back in a tractor. I wasn't really expecting this morning, but Dad's got to run to town. He did not do that yesterday. And we're not quite done chiseling in this field up here, but almost. Basically, we've just got a couple of rounds to make and some end rows, and then do a little field on the corner up here. So, I'm going to run this tractor this morning for a while. I haven't run the Ripper much for a while since we did wheat stubble, so this will be good. Well, I don't need the air conditioner today, so that's a good thing. I won't get too hot in here. This is our irrigated field. You can see one of our irrigation lanes right there. Dad has got almost all of it done. Take a look at the map here. Nope. Maybe that map. Yeah. So he's got most all of it done. We've got just a couple of long rows here to finish up right where we're at, and this little wedge here on the end, and then end rows along the road and behind the barn, it sounds like. So this shouldn't take us too terribly long, an hour or two up here probably. Seems to be running pretty good right now. We're running about 9 inches deep. Yeah, let's set this to 9 even. This at 3.5, but it's burying residue pretty nice, pulling pretty decent. We're running 6 miles an hour almost. 10th gear, 1800 RPMs. Dad just runs it in 7th gear wide open all the time pretty much. This tractor has what they call a efficiency manager. It's a power shift transmission, but it's got this efficiency manager where I can dial in a speed. So like right here, I've got it set at 6.2, and I change that with this dial here, and it will automatically adjust the engine RPMs and the gearing to try and run about that speed. And basically it wants to shift up and idle down to save fuel if it can. So I like to run it and just let it do its thing. The deer are running today. A buck chasing a doe. It's not a very big buck though. Get your fun in now, boys. You got about 3 days. You got 3 days. November 15th is opening day here in Michigan, and well, if it's brown, it's down, boys. Shoot them all. So right here's my first path coming off the road where we always drove. Watch what happens when the Ripper gets to it. Oh, it's gonna dang near kill the tractor. Wow, it's hard. We compacted that path a little bit, let's say. Pull through the low ground here where the water sat, and eventually it'll start moving again. Wow, end rows, they're hard. You may also remember that this was the field Dad was moving some dirt and filling in the low hole out there. Well, this is where it was coming from. They cleaned out this ditch here last fall, and all the spoils were laying here along the side. And so Dad's been using that pan, that scraper, and scooping them up and hauling them out there and filling in the low hole. He had that cylinder cracked on that pan, and so he had to quit. Hasn't made it back up here yet, but made it to about here, and there's quite a bit to haul yet. So he did run the Ripper through it to try and loosen stuff up, but that's where that dirt's coming from and why we're moving it, because now there's a hump there in that filter strip that we don't farm that normally anyway, but we got to get the mound of dirt out of there so that the water can flow off of the field and get into the ditch and not pond up on our end rows like it did this spring. All right, well, I finished up the end rows in the big field over there, and then we had this little 13 acres here on the corner, so I'm working on that and we'll be done. You remember earlier how I said it was cold out today and I wouldn't need the air conditioner? Well, the sun came out and now it's beating into this cab. Plus, in John Deere's genius design features here, they put the hydraulic oil reservoir right underneath this cover. If I put drink of water or something in here, it will be like 150 degrees by the end of the day because it gets hot. Well, maybe not that hot, but it's quite warm and gross and not good. So this heats up this cab and it's getting a little toasty in here. So I got the air conditioner running. It is slightly cool air. Jack looked at it yesterday. he decided that the compressor is bad. Crap. So we're gonna have to put a new AC compressor on this before the spring. So I was just looking at the comments on this morning's video that I put out there, and somebody asked about how we choose which field to get disc versus chisel plowed in. Yeah, that's a really good question that I should probably address, and probably even in a broader sense of tillage in general, why we do it and stuff. So basically anything that will be planted to corn next year, we're going to run this tool over it, or some kind of deep tillage or ripper. In this year, or last couple of years, it's been this tool on all of it. So that means all of the wheat stubble, which we did back in August and September, and all of the bean stubble that did not get planted to wheat, right? Because we planted wheat in a bunch of the bean stubble, and then the rest of that we ran this ripper across. We have flirted with some no-till corn before, but never had very good luck with it. For our soil types and our conditions and our farming style, running a ripper through the ground before we plant corn makes us a better corn crop. So we do that on all of that. And then when it comes to what's going to beans next year, so anywhere that we grew corn this year and we have corn stalks, like this field, will get planted to beans in 2021. And we have some options there as to how we handle our tillage. We could no-till, we could just plant right into this, but we're finding that we're better off to not do that. We have better crops where we do some tillage. We have so much residue from the corn stalks that we feel like we need to do some tillage to help break that residue down and begin the process of decaying it and you know, making the nutrients that are locked up in those corn stalks come available for next year's soybeans. So on most of our corn stalks, we'll run that disc, and we're doing that to simply stir up the top couple of inches of the dirt and to cut the stalks up, break them up, mix them into the dirt, and help get them started breaking down. Now, why are we running the ripper on these? Well, we've also started to see that we find pretty good returns running the ripper through corn stalks because we're getting rid of compaction, we're loosening that soil up better, and it's better for next year's bean crop. Now, the problem is this tool is expensive to run. It's slow, it takes a lot of fuel, and I don't think we could rip all of our corn stalks. Plus, it makes the ground very soft, which is a good thing unless we have a wet spring. If we run into a wet spring, then all of a sudden it's a lot harder to get our beans planted because this ground just stays wet. All of the residue from the corn stalks help hold that moisture in. So we don't run the ripper on all of the corn stalks. But like this irrigated field up here, there's so much residue, we thought that the ripper would do a good job to help burying that and help breaking that down. Any fields that we had tiled previously, usually when we put tile in, it's after wheat, and after wheat we plant corn, so those tile lines will settle over the next year or two after they're put in, and you can feel it in the corn stalks. It was also the case in this field. And so we like to run this because it helps level the fields out a little bit more than the disc will. And that's why a lot of it is timing and whether we've got time to run it or not. The disc is so much faster. If we got to cover ground, we're going to use that tool. But this fall has been so nice and dry and good conditions that we've been able to run this ripper through more corn stalks than normal. So basically summarizing it, it's planning for next year's crop and then what our goals are with the ground. So burying residue and compaction elimination, we're running this tool. And if it's just about helping that residue break down and getting a nice seed bed, maybe taking out some tracks and ruts and stuff that we may have caused with harvest equipment, we can use that disc, and it does a pretty good job at that. Now in the spring, these will be handled a little bit different again. The fields that are being disked will get disked again in the spring. The fields that we're running this ripper through, we'll be able to run our field cultivator through in the spring. And I'll talk about that more in the spring, but basically it's just a different style of tool to help get the ground ready for planting. If we like running the field cultivator better, it doesn't compact the ground like the disc will, which, yeah, long story there. And it helps level things out and makes it smoother. It does a better job. Plus it's 45 foot wide versus 29 foot on the disc. It's a lot faster as well. So that's kind of why and how we choose to do what we're doing. If you have more questions on that, leave them in the comments and I'll try and answer them. But yeah, it just comes down to what we're trying to accomplish and what our plans are for the next year. Okay, we got this one done. Just finishing the last pass on the ends here. We're gonna pull out of the field, head back home, and fuel her up. Then we gotta make the trip to Berkey. I don't know that I'm gonna do that. I'm hoping Dad's gonna do that this afternoon, but we gotta get there and get moving. All right, well, we'll let that run. She's gonna take a while. Probably 250 to 300 gallons of fuel we need in that tractor. 274 gallons. All right, Dad is eating lunch, and then he is gonna take that and head to Berkey, and he is gonna run it today. We have a truck down there that he can bring back, so I don't need to mess with it anymore today. Brock is coming here in half hour or so. So I'm going to bring the combine around the front of the shop, and I'm going to get him set up to power wash on it. It is a nice day. It's a good day to do that, so I'll let him work on it for a couple hours. Cleaning the combine is a very long process. It's not something that we're going to get done today, this week, this month. So anything he can get done on it is a huge benefit and helps keep the progress moving. So that is a good thing, so we'll do that. I've got a little bit of running around to do after that. I need to do some more cleaning up in my seed warehouse. I'm probably going to have him help me fold some boxes down. And we're going to get that disc unhooked since we are done with that. And we'll figure out what else is going on, but plenty to do. See how he did yesterday. Pretty good here. We got a lot of stuff off. There's some up there. Yeah, nice job, Brock. Got that tailboard cleaned off good. Some growing crap up in there, but it's a lot easier when you get the loose, dusty stuff off with the air before you start putting water to everything. Did a good job. Look how loose this chain is. I tightened this chain, what, 3 or 4 times throughout the fall. She's loose. It wears. That's why I put a new one on every year. But anyway, I'm going to pull around the front of the shop. All right, well, Brock is here. I'm actually just on my way back from lunch. He's been power washing on the combine while I've been gone. Let's see how things are going. See if he's ready for a break yet. There's a bunch of crap on the ground, so he's gotten something off of it. How we doing? Yeah. Yeah, she's going to take a while. But making progress. He's getting there. Got a bunch of dirt on the ground. So I'm gonna let him keep working here for a little bit, and we'll find something else to do, and then we'll come back and give him a break later. All right. While he's working on that, talking to Dad this morning and told him I was gonna get the disc unhooked because we finished with that yesterday. He's like, oh, that one field over there where we have the muck, I left a couple of acres because I didn't want to chisel it. Okay. So we're gonna take the disc over there real quick. We're gonna do like 2 or 3 acres, which will take us all of 10 minutes. And then we're gonna unhook the disc. Just that little bit of corn stalks that's still standing. That's all we gotta do. Should've just hired a neighbor over there with his little disc. So the reason that Dad did not chisel this is because it's muck. Very dark black, high organic matter soil. And it's very fluffy. And we don't like to run the ripper or chisel or any kind of deep tillage through this stuff because it fluffs the dirt up so much, then we'll have trouble in the spring next year. So that's why he left it, and we're just going to hit it with the disc to take care of some of the residue like I was talking about earlier, and it will be fine. And that's that. You can see how much more residue is left where we disced over there versus what Dad ran the ripper on. Chisel. I use those terms interchangeably, sorry. Chisel, ripper. We always typically used to use a chisel plow, which is a little bit different than a ripper, but we've replaced it, so we still call it chiseling. But anyway, yeah, a lot more residue where we disc versus where we run the ripper, and yeah, looser soil down deeper. Yep. Anyway, we're done. Now I have to go get this thing unhooked. All right, well, this is where we're gonna park this thing. I'm putting the cylinder stops in. Basically, you just put this piece in here so that if the cylinder rod was to leak or settle or something, it won't settle all the way to the ground where the blades are resting on the ground. It'll push on this. Stop, dang it. Work with gravity, not against gravity. There. Yeah, so that'll get wedged in there basically. Then we've got to put a jack down in the back because this thing is actually back heavy. And we'll put one in the front just for good measure, but then we can unhook it. Well, I guess the jack on the front's not going to go down for good measure. Usually there's a handle there with a crank. She gone. I don't think the tongue will drop. Guess we're gonna find out. Yeah, we're good. We're giving Brock a break from power washing. Folding seed boxes down. Gotta spread these ones out. Sorry, I got busy and I forgot, but we got all them boxes cleaned up, sorted, organized. If you haven't figured it out yet, I'm not very good at sticking with a job and just finishing it, like cleaning out that barn and getting it done and cleaning up my treater and doing all of it. I do little bits and pieces at a time and then come back and do a little bit more and whatever. It's good for now. All right. Well, it is about 3 o'clock. I'm going to let Brock power wash for about another hour before he has to go. He's doing a real good job. I appreciate the help on that. I've got a seed customer to go and see and potentially another one to pick up some more boxes from, so I'm going to go and try and do that if I can get a hold of them. Then we'll come back. We'll get that combine. We're going to put it in the shop tonight and get the concrete cleaned off a little bit, or at least scrape the stuff up into a pile. But that's going to be a mess for a while. It's just the way that it is. And we'll probably call it a night. Well, that was a semi-successful trip. I did not find the customer that I was hoping to find, but I did get my boxes back, so that's good. Well, there you can see we've got her, we're getting her cleaned up in here. I believe all of those boxes are the ones that I need to return that had wheat in them or cover crop seed when they came here. Those boxes are either the farm's or mine, seed business. So that's good. Oh, I just got a box from UPS. Guy showed up while I was actually here, which never happens. Let's see what we got. Paper. Some of my stuff. We got sweatshirts. Nice. A couple of hats. Have to see what's in there. T-shirt. And something. What's in here? Oh, flashlights, I think. Little work lights. Yeah. Do they work? Need batteries. Just some little promotional stuff to give away to some of my seed customers. I got more stuff coming, but won't be here till December because that's how Golden Harvest works. Since I'm down here with my truck, I'm gonna pull this auger back to the farm, get that out of here so we can clean it up. And then we're pretty well good shape, except for that seed tender over there. That does not need to be here. I might take that down to Berkey with me one of these days while I'm chiseling, although we should clean it up first. So, we'll see. Yeah, Brock got a lot of this stuff off the feeder house. Still a lot in there, but he got a lot. We're gonna put that away in a minute. I'm gonna put this tractor in the barn because, well, we're done with it for now. So, we'll put it inside. I did fuel it up because it was empty. It's not quite time to play equipment Tetris yet, but that day is coming. All right, let's put this in the barn. Our grain tank is closed, right? She's a little close here, but it does fit. It's in. Now that. Well, it's a start. That pile smells terrible, by the way. Anybody remember how many wheelbarrow loads of crap we hauled off of this combine last year? I want to say it was like 5 or 6. There's got to be at least 2 there. Means there's a lot of crap still on the combine. Okay, well, it is almost 5:30, so I'm going home. Tomorrow we're going to go to Berkey and run that ripper. I don't know if we're going to go all day or if Dad's going to go in the morning and then we'll go down lunchtime or something and take over for the rest of the day, or how exactly it's going to work. Figure that out in the morning. But that is the plan. I don't know how far he was going to make it tonight, but we've probably got at least another 2 days, full days, of running that ripper down there. So that's the plan. They are supposed to be done with our tractor tomorrow, so if I don't go down there in the morning and I can find a ride up to the John Deere dealer, I might go and get that and drive it home. But we'll see. So anyway, have a great night, everybody. Hit the like and subscribe buttons for me, please. And if you have any questions and comments, leave them down below. We'll see you guys again tomorrow. Are you guys tired of watching these videos yet? I am pretty sure that I have only taken 3 days off from posting videos since the start of harvest. That was September 22nd. 3 days that I haven't posted a video since then. That's crazy. Do bots get tired of watching videos?